Fuck that hoe, cause she a nat. You ain't the one for me, baby. You ain't got shit I need, bitch. You want me to take my time with you, or maybe I'm not your speed, bitch. Maybe I'm not your lead, bitch. You ain't got no cheese, bitch. Maybe I'm just too G for you, maybe I'm just too street, bitch. I can even roll in peace, why? Everybody notice me, yeah. I can even go to sleep, why? I'm rolling on the beat, yeah. They tried to give me 8, got on my knee like Jesus, please. You don't even believe in Jesus. Why you got a Jesus, please? If you wanna leave, just leave. But you ain't gotta lie to me. Even the blind can see, but she ain't gon' ride for me. You ain't even showing me the love you say you got for me. There ain't no loyalty, you lied to me. You say that you gon' ride for me. Baby, that's blasphemy, yeah. Baby, you're bad for me, yeah. Say you gon' clap for me, yeah. Say you gon' blast for me, yeah. Why you ain't show me none of the love you say you have for me, yeah. We're going through tragedy, bitch, I needed you drastically, yeah. I'ma just switch my flow up, yeah. Maybe I'm sick, no throw up, yeah. Maybe I'm sick, no check up, yeah. Boy, you need to run your checkup, yeah. I'm eating on you niggas, no catch up, yeah. I'm eating on you niggas, can't catch up, ayy. Hit her face down with an ass up, ayy. Even when I'm fucking, I'm messed up, ayy. For me, baby, you ain't got shit I need, bitch. You want me to take my time with you, or maybe I'm not your speed, bitch. Maybe I'm not your lead, bitch.
So tell us where we are right now.
Alright, so right now we're at the Great Malcolm X Park,
Or as they call it,
Meridian Hill Park.
yeah. Who calls it Meridian Hill? Who calls it Malcolm X?
Well, the transplants, you know, they call it Meridian Hill. The natives more so call it Malcolm X.
Yeah.
But you know how that is. A lot of different neighborhoods have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been born. You were born, bred. Now you're grown and you're actually like still living here.
Right.
Yeah.
Although some people don't think that, I've been here since 1989. Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah. And then you grew up around the Rock Creek neighborhood, right?
Yeah. On Water Street, Newton and Water Street. I actually moved there when I was 12 years old. So I guess you could say that I did kind of grow up there because when I lived in Southeast previously, I was just like stayed in the house, didn't really go outside, didn't know anybody. So I guess when I moved to Northwest, that's when I started becoming more sociable.
Yeah. I didn't know he's from Southeast.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's a funny thing. Like when you're from DC and then someone say you're from Southeast, they go, yikes.
Yeah, exactly. Shit was crazy. I went to Johnson Junior High School. I went to Moulton and Wilkinson Elementary School.
Okay.
If y'all know what those are, shout out.
Yeah. But did you go to Mac eventually, or?
Yeah, I went to Mac only for 8th grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So everyone, for those who don't know, Mac is McFarland, and that's located on behind Georgia. What street is that?
It's beside Roosevelt.
Yeah. Right beside Roosevelt.
I think Kansas Avenue.
Yeah, exactly.
Off of Kansas.
Exactly. Yeah. So tell me, like, what was it like growing up in Northwest during the early 90s? Because I moved here in 99 when I was like 10. And I used to hear, like, around that way, y'all used to get it popping. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I mean, D.C. in general in the 90s was pretty crazy. When I moved to Northwest, it was probably year 2000, I think. But yeah, pretty much the same shit. It was crazy. You hear gunshots.
Yeah.
Typical city living.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I know when I moved there was a lot of murders. There's a lot of murders, especially like Warder. And then I always talk about like the Parkview playground. I refer to it as like the playground where like kids did not play. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of vials. There's a lot of, you know what I'm saying, activity, a lot of dice and all that stuff. But it was all good. But what I did like is like, you know what I'm saying, because he was probably one of the kids that was outside. It seemed like the older kids, they didn't stop you guys from being kids in that environment. And
no, not at all, man. I can actually say when I first moved to the Northwest, I didn't know what to expect. But after I got comfortable there, I was like, you know what? It's not that bad compared to Southeast, you know? It was my first time seeing Hispanic people. Because most of the Hispanic people live in like the Northwest area. I don't know why, but it was interesting. But the guys that I grew up around on Water Street. They, told me like what's what about Uptown and shit like that, and kept me on the straight path because like I just like to play basketball and shit like that.
I feel
you know what I mean?
So tell me, what defines an Uptown nigga in your opinion?
Shit, in my head, like fly,
Yeah.
get money, very charismatic.
Yeah.
Pretty much it.
Yeah, do you feel like you embodied that when you grew up, or like?
I think so because like I guess when I was younger, like middle school, pre-middle school, I never really like thought about like I didn't care about clothes and like fashion and shit like that until I moved to Northwest.
Yeah, I feel you.
When I started seeing like everybody getting fly, when the kids make fun of your shoes and shit like that, you gotta step your game up.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's,
yeah, I always say like Uptown guys are kind of like the Harlem in DC. You know
I agree. Dipset.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And to be funny, like everybody actually listens to Dipset, so that's ironic.
Talk about it.
Killer Cam, Jewels, Skull Gang.
Pivot. You was alive and you was Uptown when Cam was here, right?
Yeah, Howard Homecoming.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
When he got shot, you remember that?
Yeah. I wasn't there. I was a kid, but I definitely heard about it.
Yeah.
I think one of my brothers was there actually.
Yeah, that's crazy. But it's just like it was crazy because like Cam was embraced by like us as kids. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, for sure. He has a lot of love and support. Actually, it's funny because February before COVID.
Yeah.
He came to the Howard Theater. I was supposed to go see him for that album he just came out. I didn't get to see it because COVID fucked that up.
Yeah.
No,
man. He's like, I remember when I was in maybe 10th grade, and this girl was like, he said, because I remember a lot of us was in our homeroom. Did we ever have homeroom together? I don't think so.
Did you have Tails Row? Mr. Tails Row?
No. You was Tails Row 9th grade. I was more 9th grade. Who'd you have 10th grade?
Oh, you talking Michael Moore?
Yeah.
Math teacher. Shout out to Mr. Moore, man. I have nothing bad to say.
Yeah, he's awesome, brother.
Yeah.
But
he meant well.
Yeah, but I know this girl. Her name was Tiara. I forget her last name, but she was like, because a lot of us was in homeroom listening to Cam. She's like, why y'all be listening to that goofy ass? All he says, he just rhymes a whole bunch of goofy words.
I mean, everybody's
And I was like, nah, it's just magical.
Yeah, man. FYI, I don't like any Killer Cam slander, so don't come at me with no slander, man.
Exactly. And then a lot of us grew up on 3-6. I know when I moved here,
for sure.
Like, Uptown was 3-6. Dipset wasn't there yet in the early 90s, but it was a lot of down south stuff. You know what I'm saying? But you guys just had like
that's funny. A lot of like Houston, Memphis, influence. I guess that's why they came. DC people started saying true, TRU. That came from Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
I even have a hypothesis. I feel like a lot of like DC culture is kind of like blended with Chicago stuff because it wasn't until I went to college and I didn't realize they said Joe. I was like, oh, y'all said Joe? I was like, okay, DC says Joe too. And it's like, it's funny now when you look at the music and you see like the drill scene, you see the DC scene, it's kind of, the aesthetic is kind of similar, but it's like those kids kind of look exactly like Southeast kids.
They do.
Yeah.
The North Face, the dreads.
Dreads, yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, I didn't even connect that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, man, so we're now like in the mid-90s. So would you say that it was a healthy environment for you to grow up in as a youth, or you feel like
if we talk about the mid-90s, like my mom sheltered me a lot from all that shit, so like I hear things sometimes. I may see things, but it wasn't really, it was like away from me, in a sense, if that makes sense.
No, I feel you because what I love about, because would y'all consider y'all wasn't really Parkview, right? All the way up there? Y'all was just more so like the creek.
What do you mean?
Like, would you guys consider that neighborhood, that side of it? Because Newton is kind of more creek side than...
Yeah.
Because I guess for those who don't know, like you have, from the way we grew up, the way I understood, you had the creek, you had the 40.
Yeah, Morton Street.
Right, and then you come down, and you got Urban Hill, then you go down, you got Hobart.
Yeah, right.
Some more. So
Newton Street is part of that, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
'Cause, I grew up on, I used to walk, sometimes when my mom didn't like when I did that, but I used to, turn on Newton Street on Georgia. You know when it looked like The Walking Dead up there.
Oh yeah.
It was just always so interesting to me as a kid. I was like, shit, I'm about to turn up this street, see what's going on. You know what I mean? So I would say that.
I come back only maybe like once a year, and I see how different Georgia looks. Like I was trying to tell someone, like, man, back in the day, Georgia looked like fucking bad. Georgia looked bad from like, Morton all the way to the train station. It was bad. Then it got okay. Then you go all the way up to Rittenhouse, it gets bad again. It's just like that shit was like, yeah.
It's a scary sight.
Yeah. But that's dope though. So then you did middle school. You did 8th grade at Mac. You started at Cardozo. That's where we met. Yeah. So tell me about your high school experience.
To be honest, high school was fun.
Yeah, it was.
A little too much fun. Like when I went there, I got to a point where I was like, oh my God, like you can just skip class and no one gives a shit. Hey, David. I'm not saying like kids, if you're watching this, skipping school isn't the move. It's not the way, but he's just talking about our experiences here in our school systems. It was just
different.
Yeah, it was different.
Yeah, I definitely, DCPS has those 50,000 people in the gym class all day.
Miss Hawkins.
Yeah. Oh, you brought it back. Yeah. Because there was another gym teacher no one played with, right? And they was like, no, you can't go in there. But Miss Hawkins had like 80 niggas in there.
Yeah.
And then she'd be like, wait, you're not in this class? You'd be like, yes, I am. She'd be like, okay.
I like Miss Hawkins, though. She introduced me to some sports I would have never tried to play before. So
yeah, she was a sweetheart, though.
Yeah, volleyball, badminton, all that crazy stuff. Floor hockey.
Exactly.
Fun activities.
Yeah. So essentially, it wasn't necessarily an academic experience for you. It was more like a social type of like, rites of passage.
Yeah, in a sense, because like I was always like a pretty smart kid.
Yeah.
I went to Head Start. Like I started going to school when I was like 3. I used to watch PBS all the time. Like I always like self-taught myself. And, things like that. And it was like, I guess I got smarter, more street smarter going to Cardozo in a sense. I gained a lot of knowledge, but it was knowledge that's been keeping me alive to this day.
I say that a lot, and I love that you said it because, like, if you think about it, what do you think keeps us as African American men alive more? Do you think the academics, or you think like the street wisdom, the social consciousness?
I'm always gonna say academics is the wave, but growing up how we did, when we did, you gotta like be accustomed to your environment.
Yeah.
So we learned more like I learned how about staying alive just by seeing mistakes. When I was younger, I didn't really talk to a lot of females because I used to see a lot of guys get like in bad situations by talking to females. And I learned just about like I just learned how to stay out the way. I've watched people mistakes.
Yeah.
And you just learn from them.
It's brilliant that you said it because before I went to Cardozo, I remember my cousins, they're not all the way to the street, but they were more like, like thorough. And because they saw me and I was a really like kind of square, nerdy kid.
Yeah.
And when they heard I had to go to Cardozo, they said, oh shit.
They were scared for you.
Yeah, they was like, let me look, bro. Let me just tell you, just mind your business. Just go there, do your work, and mind your business. And then I didn't understand what they were saying. And then when I got there and I saw who was there, and I said, okay, I see why. You know what I'm saying? Because we had some shooters in there. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of that. Not incriminating nobody. It was just.
Yeah.
And then
I know what you mean.
Yeah, and then
it's facts. It's not.
Yeah.
It's public.
Yeah, and then even after we graduated, like a lot of cats from our class, they ended up having like public big cases, you know what I'm saying, getting like 20 to 60 to 80 years. And I'm like,
shout out to the real.
Yeah. Especially one guy from your way, you know what I'm saying? Armored bank robbery and all that stuff. But it sounded like something that just sounded
like some
unfathomable.
GTA shit.
Yeah, until you get to, we can talk about that too. Until you actually till you get to, you know what I'm saying? You get into your 20s and you're like, all right, he passed away, he's in jail, this person passed away, this person's on he's an addict now, and it just makes your heart break. You have
Yeah,
a
it
different type
does. Yeah.
of empathy. But talk to me about the GTA.
That GTA life.
Let me just ask, not to incriminate you, but did you partake?
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'll say this though. Like I said, I was always like an athlete. I played basketball.
Yeah.
I'll tell you like different scenarios. I'm not gonna say their names. You guys know who you are. This is a true life story. After school, we would go to Banneker High School, which was down the street. Shout out to Banneker. We would go there to like hoop, humiliate the guys on the basketball court that go to Banneker, and also talk to their girls.
Yeah.
That goes to the school, but like just kids doing kid shit. Like after basketball, like knuckleheads do knucklehead shit, and like I was always like I was there, but I wasn't indulging in any activities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll just say that.
Yeah. Where he's politically stayed away from. So around the early 2000s, there was this trend that was happening a lot with like guys our age. We're not a part of that. Not at all. You know what I'm but
never was.
A lot of guys were still in cars around that time, and it's crazy because when I got out of like DC and I went to college in Clark in Atlanta. And everyone was like talking about this movie called New Jersey Drive. I said, "What is this?" So then I watched it. I said, "Oh, okay, that's just like DC in the early 2000s. Like, there's a whole bunch of kids from like 13 all the way to 18 still in cars." I'm like, dude, that's what it is. And like I said, not again. We're not going to incriminate nobody.
Actually, I'm gonna tell you a couple cool GTA stories, right?
Alleged GTA stories.
Alleged GTA stories. All right, so I used to walk from Georgia to go up Georgia. Sometimes I would buck on 13th Street. One time I saw this guy. Name starts with an A. He was like, "Yo, what you about to do?" I said, "I'm going to school, nigga. What's up?" Then he's like, "You want to ride?"
Oh.
I was like, whenever someone asks, no, don't get in the car. So I turned him down, but I asked him what he was about to do. He was like, "Said, I'm just about to go meet up with some other guy who also had a car, and we're about to go race on the freeway." Cool story. And another time I was walking home.
This was a knife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another time I was walking home from Cardozo.
And then sorry to interrupt. So the knife for us was 03. So that kind of like the timeline.
So I'm walking down Georgia, like just coming from Banneker, and I saw this guy who lived in my neighborhood. He was like, what you doing walking? Let me give you a ride. Brand new Hummer H2. Yeah. Brand new Hummer H2. And
let me just say about that guy. This guy that we're not saying, that guy used to get the best. Like
the best car.
Yeah, like there was a skinny guy.
Yeah.
Down there, his name started with a P. You know what I'm saying? He used to get certain things that was crazy, and then these brothers would always get the crazy, and then they were always like on the next level. Allegedly, they was on the next level, like to the point where they weren't just content with just taking the cars; they wanted to get chased. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and then one of them got into an accident, and he got a permanent scar because of a chase. And I was just like, and it was just crazy. That was just our way of life. Like, because like you said, how you was walking down the street, a person was like, "Hey, you want to ride?" I got that so many times. And sometimes you're like, "Hey," you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it depends, because not even as cold as hell. It's like he said earlier, Georgia Avenue was a very dangerous place.
Yeah.
And it was like, even though you live on Georgia Avenue, it's like, this street might not fuck with me.
Woo!
So it's like, it's there a block away, so it's like, I just didn't want to end up in no sticky situation. I just wanted to get home.
Talk about it. Because especially in 06, 05, when y'all around your way, when there was that stuff with Fifth and Taylor, and and then even like, because there's this guy that also went to Cardozo with us. I think maybe a year after us, but he started DMV Hoods and News. What's up, man?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, and it's funny you said that. I saw that guy. I knew about the page, but when I saw his face, I was like, I went to school with that nigga. Hey, if you watch this, bro, I DM'd you, bro. Come on, bro. You know what's up.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy, he went there, and he was, you played a football team with us. He was on just basketball.
No, I played basketball because the football team, sorry, Nav, it was trash.
Yeah, we were so shit.
So I didn't want to get, and the football team season started first, and I didn't want to get injured, so I couldn't play basketball.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, he was ill.
How it is.
Yeah, he was ill. But I was going to say that, like that, that guy, he was talking about a lot of the issues that happened. And I didn't realize until he was reporting on it. I was like, damn, there was a lot of beefs that happened when we was in high school. There's still, it's crazier now because when I'm away and I'm hearing about someone sprayed up this whole block and then a few days of, you know what I'm saying, 6 people getting shot here or whatever. I'm like, wow. But back then, it was like you said, there would be 2 neighborhoods next to each other. For some reason, they're mortal enemies. Yeah. And you don't know why. And then there was a lot of cats like me. I'm square. I'm a civilian. Yeah. But they think you from, you know what I'm saying, or they think you those, you know what I'm saying? It was
you
weird.
with that shit tonight.
Yeah. You're a casualty now.
All of a sudden.
Yeah, you a notch on my belt.
Yeah,
so.
that actually, I'm going to talk about that really quick. That actually happened a lot in D.C. Yeah. I remember when me and my brother got our first apartment. We moved to Forestville, Maryland. Shout out to Forest Creek. We lived in Hillmar Drive. My cousin Alex, just a skater, you know, like a civilian. Yeah. Comes to visit one day, got off on the wrong bus, and those bammers were like, hey, you from Swan Road, cuz? Hey, yeah, you are. I seen you last week. Never seen him a day in his life, but you know, that's just how it was.
It just turned into a story.
They will make some shit up just to fuck with
you.
I
was on the H4 bus by Brooklyn. I didn't know about Yellow Brick before this. Some guy, I don't know what he said to this poor young lady, but I don't know what he said. I know something happened on the bus before. You know, sometimes you would transfer at the stations, right? Yeah. Something happened where he probably said something to a young lady on another bus, and he was like foreign. He was like, you know, Middle Eastern or something. He came to the back. Now he got on the H bus, right? I'm in the H bus in the back corner. He's sitting in the middle, right? All I see is the girl coming like, yeah, there you go right there. And then all these like 7 dudes from Yellow Brick, they just jumped on like the handlebars and started kicking him in his face. And they beat the living life out of him. I'm like, what is going on? And I don't even think they really got all the facts. It was just what it was. Like, even, not even to glorify it, but like, I tell people when I met them in Atlanta, I was like, people didn't really get bullied in our school. Because you bully the wrong person, the whole hood will be on that wall outside. You know what I'm saying?
After school.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one time when I first went to Cadoza, it was like, damn, you from there too? Oh, damn, shit, you from Rock Creek too? Damn, y'all in this bitch like roaches, cockroaches. It was like 75 of us in there. Yeah. All the same age or around the same age. Yeah. So it was like, I mean, that was kind of like, kept me out of trouble. Yeah. But like, I guess after a while when like everybody started getting kicked out of school and stuff, and it came like a very few, so, you know, like, you know how it is. Yeah, yeah. The turn of the table.
Yeah. Creek was deep in there. I remember like y'all was deep 9th and 10th. Then y'all started kind of like thinning out 11th.
Thinning out. You know what I'm saying? Bammers were getting arrested and they was getting kicked out of school.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, man. I remember your brother, like, he was a cool guy. He was tough on us, though, because he knew we were your friend. Yeah. So he used to kind of just talk shit. Yeah. But I always appreciate that when, you know, like, the homies, older brothers were, like, making sure we weren't, you know what I'm saying, on some soft shit. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to your older brother, bro.
Yeah, man. He's a good guy. Shout out to him. Yeah, he lives in Cali now.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I love when I see folks that make it out, move out. But you're actually, like, one of the things I'm most proud of because you stayed here. Then man. You said you live like around here. I'm like, dude, how the fuck do you afford? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I live down the street. I live on 14th Street.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Like
I still live in the neighborhood I grew up in, basically. Yeah. Down the street from my high school.
Yeah, man.
And it's crazy because I still be seeing some people from Cadoza.
Yeah, yeah.
On 14th and Clifton, I walk down.
Yeah. My thing is, I see the cost of living is just like...
No, it's crazy, man.
Like, even parking here, like, even where I park just now, you know what I'm saying? Cops don't come get me, but I'm like, am I going to get a ticket or not? Like, where can you guys park in the city where it's not $1 million?
No, it's crazy. And that's why a lot of people say, oh, well, you don't got a car? Well, why the fuck do I need a car? Like,
it's
I live on 14th. Yeah. I can ride my bike everywhere. I work down the street. I don't need a car, and if I need to get somewhere, I can rent a car or I can get an Uber.
Let me ask you this, not to be any personal, do you have a license?
I do.
I went to Atlanta, right? And then everyone was like, why are you not getting your license? I was like, where I'm from, you don't need a car. Like, you're good. You're like, we have the Metro. And I knew people who didn't get their license until like mid-20s because it wasn't that.
Yeah, you don't really need one at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you, like I said, you want to rent a car or something like that.
So. Yeah. And then you cannot. And now you should bring that up. It makes
and also, a lot of people drive without a license. They don't need. They just start driving.
Yeah, exactly. I like a lot of those stories you're talking that GTA life. You know what I'm saying? But the crazy part is like, no, now that you say that, it does make sense that people can afford to live here. If you don't really drive, it's all right. If I got my apartment, I'm paying that. I don't got to worry about all these tickets. I don't got to worry about all these permits and all that stuff. That's just wild, man.
Right. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. So let me ask you this. So you're here now. You grew up on the Chocolate City side of things, but
I did.
But now Chocolate City is starting to, you know how they say the tanning of America, but it's the untanning of Uptown. So how do you feel, you know, about seeing, you know, Uptown turn from chocolate to, you know, what it is now?
So milk chocolate?
Milk chocolate.
Half and half?
Yeah.
Nah, so it's funny because I'm going to go back to what you said. Some people get out. Like for me, I don't mind staying here because one, like, say for example, if I go on a vacation somewhere and I'm like there for a couple weeks or a month or whatever.
Yeah.
So I come out to DC and I kiss the concrete because I miss this place. I love this. My city, you know, it's always going to be my city.
Yeah.
And another reason why I didn't have a problem with it because like as I became an adult and shit, like you said, things start to change. We got more opportunity, more
what amenities and
more amenities and shit like that. And the transit people, like I never like hung out or like worked with white people before. It was like I was living in a totally different city that I grew up in, so I didn't mind it.
I would see you, no lie, like I'll be on some creep shit. I used to see you and I'm like, man, he's really socializing. You know, and they're not the enemy. They're not the ops. You know what I'm saying? They're
not
angles.
the ops.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, the thing is that it's like growing up, because I was so fortunate enough, and we all were, it was like certain places around the world, say if you're the minority as far as like, there's only 2 black people in my town.
Yeah.
Then you're forced to like grow up and learn white culture and do white things, and you don't have a sense or anything about black power and what it means to be black. So for me, I grew up with all that, listening to all the oldies when my mom used to like clean up on Sundays. I know like what it means to be black, you know, about respect and like the way I carry myself. So it's like me growing up, I never really thought about a white person as an enemy. I used to watch them, see them on TV and stuff, but I never really like thought a different thing until. Like, I don't judge people until they give me a reason to be like, oh, you flaw.
Yeah.
Because, like, everybody's, in general, is not, like, a bad person. Like, as far as white people, I have, a lot of white friends, and they're solid people. But it's some of them that are racist, and they are dicks, like, for sure.
Let me ask you, like, the majority of these people you're speaking of, the white folks that move here, do you find they're from the South? They're from New York? Like, where the majority of transplants from?
Most of them are from, like, Pennsylvania or, like Michigan. A lot of Michigan. Midwest, like Wisconsin, Minnesota. Places like that. Like, I would say more so Midwesterns.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but my thing is this, and I'm going to say this briefly, like how I said I had no perception of white people and everything. I'm gonna tell you about this. You can't move into which camera should I look at? you go talking to you right there, sitting down eating the chips, drinking the wine. You can't move to somebody's city and then expect the city to adapt to your way of living. You have to adapt to the city, or we're going, you know, say less.
I mean, we're actually in a living example. Like, we started the interview saying that, hey, we call this Malcolm X. Other folks come here and they call it something else, just like the neighborhood I grew up in.
No, that's not, because that's one part, but fuck all that. This is, I'm only getting deeper because Neville don't live here. Because this shit irks my gears, bro. So it's funny, right? I live on 14th Street. I ain't going to tell you the street I live on. I mean, I can't fucking come pull up. But, what I was about to say. Don't look at me like I don't belong on the street that I've been living on before you even fucking moved there. Motherfucker. I'm talking about you with the pea coat on.
Talk about it.
You know what I mean? Like, because for me, when I move to a place, I'm not going to be like, how you feel if I bring all my partners to where you live at and we just buy all the houses on your street?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Just be like, just treat people the way you want to be treated, bro. Respect the city.
I was going to ask you that. I was like, do you feel as if like the transplants, they acknowledge that the city was there? Like, I feel like even in...
No, not all of them, bro.
Yeah.
I was wearing a Chocolate City hat 4 years ago. White dude's like, where's that?
Yeah.
I was like, Google it.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Like, learn your research about a city. Don't just move there because you can and just put your nose down on people because it's fucked up.
And the classism is here, too, because if you really think about who can afford to live here.
Yeah. I mean, that's why they look at me like I don't, you know what I mean? And I probably got more money than them the whole time.
Yeah.
So just check yourself before you wreck yourself.
And David would smack the shit out of you.
Yes, I will.
That's the thing. It's like when I see the brothers I knew from, I said, man, if they just knew. Like I saw this one guy, right? Yeah, guys, this is a full 360 experience. So they're doing construction over here. So if you want to see that, just turn your camera. Yeah. But anyway, there's a guy. When we was in 9th grade, he was a known. He had a body or two, right? And I was like, oh man. And I remember he was a guy you just used to stay away from, right? I came back from college one summer. I saw this guy was bagging up groceries at the Giant on 14th.
Yeah.
Some Anglo dude was talking shit to him. I said, I swear to God, if you don't know that cat will split you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just the craziest thing. Like, they just move, but not they. I hate to say the pronouns, but folks move here. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, when I come back every once, I'm like, man, if you don't know, 5 years ago, that guy is a known legend to us. But it's like, there's this world where it just feels like a disparity between the natives and then even, and I'm not going to lie, Howard kids kind of do that too.
They are. They're in the way sometimes.
Yeah.
Even because that's another thing.
Yeah.
Those are probably a lot of those black kids that I was talking about that grew up in the Midwest or around mostly white people, and they be like, I want to go. And those are the black kids that go to the HBCUs for the most part because they want to get that sense of black power and that black experience.
But the fucked up part is, bro, they
But don't look down on your nose on a nigga that's from the city.
Exactly, because they call y'all locals.
If you really want to get the black experience, come kick it with me.
Yeah.
I'll show you what it means.
And the fucked up part is, like, because when it wasn't until I got away, and then, like, some of them will graduate and they'd be from Atlanta. And they're like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, because first of all, I don't sound like I'm from D.C. because I wasn't born here, right?
Right.
So my first formative years, I was around white people. So I have, like, this white aspect to, like, the way I speak. Yeah. So anyway, so when I'm in Atlanta, people don't know I'm from D.C. So then a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, I went to Howard or whatever. That's okay, yeah. I grew up around Howard. And then, like, before that, they would be talking mad shit about, like, how trap and trashy around Howard is. Because that's
what?
Yeah. So they'll just kind of just go on, like, how Howard is kind of, like, how Howard is nice, but they hate the neighborhoods around it. I said, man, those are people like Detroit, you know what I'm saying, Hobart, you know what I'm saying, the whole Georgia Ave, like that.
They want to see what it feels like to be black, but they talk shit about other black people.
Exactly. But then when they could be here and they could actually affect positively their community and joy.
Yeah, the black people that act like that, man, get your mind right, man. Yeah. How you gonna say this white person treat me like this, but you treat your own people like shit? Come on, bro. I understand there's levels to this shit, but we got to do better.
That's crazy. That's crazy, yeah, man. So let me ask you this: you have a lady, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's not necessarily.
No, she's white. She's Italian and Polish and Dutch.
Do you feel as if not to pry into that?
Come on, bro.
Do you feel as if she understands, like in terms of like your experience, like in terms of like the city, or was there like an education?
I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
The way she was raised, she wasn't raised to like when she see black people be like,
Yeah.
You know, like we kind of similar in the workforce. Like she don't judge people based on what the world judges them on. She bases it on your actions. But no, she didn't understand a lot of things. But I explained it to her, and she listens, and she knows now. And now she understands better about, because, you know, and vice versa. She taught me a lot of things as well.
Yeah, and that's key.
She helped me change a lot, to be honest. Shout out to her.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Miss Dr. Davis Scott. So let me ask you this: you work in the
Hold on, yeah. Hold on 1 second.
All right. Brief commercial brought to you by headphones. You just go like boom. All right. So you work. So what industry do you work in currently?
All right. So right now, I'm not working in any industry. I work for an independent contractor.
Okay.
There's a company called Cups. But before COVID, I was a bar manager at a bar.
That's fine.
Yes, sir.
So with that, you would actually come in contact, you know what I'm saying, and you actually like socialize more with, you know, the transplants as you refer to.
Right. Exactly. It's a whole nother world. I never really thought that I would get into that type of industry as a kid, because when I was younger, I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, you know, and shit like that. So, but like I was saying, like the cost of living and shit like that, most of the people that live in the city, they work in that industry because you can make a lot of money bartending in the city.
Yeah,
you can make about $400 or $500 a night.
That's crazy.
So it's like, why the fuck not? But it's one of those things where you don't want to get stuck and trapped into that type of environment, because it can, like, depending on if you're content with that, fine. But I was never content with that. People used to say, "Oh, you're not working there no more? You're not working there?" No, because this isn't what I want to do for the rest of my life, and I'm not about to put up with somebody's bullshit, you know? That's why I'm trying to, like, COVID is bad and everything, but I also appreciate it because it's giving me an opportunity to have more, like, freedom, time freedom, and I can do things that I've been plotting on for the past couple of years and put it in motion.
And that brings us to a great point, because you are also a content creator, and that's why I love to fuck with this dude, man, because he's actually started a channel. Tell us about that.
Oh, yeah, so I'm starting a channel on YouTube. It's called Say Less TV. Say less is a term that DC natives say, when it just basically means, like, say no more, like, I get it, got you, say less. Silencito. But, and actually that was going to be my first guest on there, so check that out on YouTube, coming soon. Yeah, man. Say Less TV.
Yeah, man. So tell me about, like, because you what I love that you said when we first met, that we was walking down here finding the best spot to shoot. You was like, there's a void in the city for, like, actual real conversations about, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so one of the reasons why I like to do it, because for one, I got into, like, I guess, like, I was always an artsy person, but, you know, like, it takes a while for everybody to figure out what they truly love to do. My girlfriend, she works at NPR, so she's a journalist and whatnot. So I used to go out with her and, like, help her with her interviews, like be like the cameraman or the tech guy. And she would put me on game a little bit. So I knew that's what I wanted to do, something similar like that. I got my camera probably about a year later, and everything that I needed. I started off taking photography photos. But then I wanted to, like, I was out taking photos one day, actually, on 14th and U Street. And this guy asked me, "Yo, what are you doing?" I was like, "I'm taking pictures, bro." He asked me to interview him. So it was raw. I told him to pull over, sit down, set up my camera, put my mic on, and gave him an interview. Very interesting story. He was a native, young homeless kid, very informative. And you know what? It made my heart and my soul feel a certain type of way, because there's a lot of people that people need to hear their stories, and they have really great stories. And if I just want to, like, tell people's stories, not like somebody that's like a big popular figure or whatever, because fuck their stories. If I want to, like, kind of like help change the world and change people's perspective on other people. So if you're into, like, shit like that, you could check my shit out.
And once again, it's called Say Less TV. Yeah, man.
Or you can go to my Instagram. It's D_artist, ARTISH on Instagram.
This actual conversation happened. I mean, we've been to each other since, like, early 2000s, but, you know, we spoke because he shot something like, if you turn your 360 camera around, he shot something over. That shit looks raw as hell. So these kids were like skateboarding over there, and then I reached out and he was like, "Yo, let's do an interview." I want to do an interview first. It was like Spider-Man, Spider-Man. But I love that we actually got an opportunity to do it. And I thought it was gonna be cold as shit, but it's actually all right.
No, it's not that bad out here. So
yeah,
the gods were on our side.
Yeah, man. So let me ask you this: what is your vision for? Let's say you're the god of DC, right?
Yeah.
What's your vision for post-COVID DC? You know what I'm saying? This harmonious thing. Like, what do you envision for the city? What do you want to have DC become if you had it your way?
If I had it my way, I guess I would have DC. Right now, I could say that I think that DC is very self-segregated.
Ooh.
People choose who they want to rub elbows with and whatnot. I would unify it, and I would also make it affordable, because it was once affordable and it needs to remain affordable for everyone.
Talk about that.
That way we'll be able to keep the diversity in the city, and I feel like if the developers keep jacking the prices, we will lose the diversity in this great city, which makes it great, the diversity. I love leaving out my house. That's one reason why I won't move to Silver Spring, or I won't move to none of these places, because I like leaving out my house and seeing a white person, black person, Spanish person, and all these different type of ethnic foods and backgrounds. And I guess I would just also like to make more opportunities for everybody. It doesn't need to change that much.
I love what you said about like keeping this city affordable. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing too. How you doing? That's the thing too that I notice is like it's become like this financial thing. Like, if you can't afford to live here, you won't be able to impact and influence this culture. And then, like, if you think about the 90s or when you grew up, we were here, you know what I'm saying? Like, even, I don't think across here, I think on the other side of Malcolm X, we was living in that, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, now we can't even afford to live over there. So then what does DC culture become if we can't afford to live in the city that was for us?
And that's the thing. I don't want them to try to change DC to some fucking LA flossy hype beast bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, keep it the way it is. Like, don't close down the Murrays. Don't close down all these places, man. You know what I mean? Keep it funky a little bit. We don't want it to be like some basic ass city, because that's when I'm gonna wash my hands with this place.
Yeah. I love that you said that you want to stay uptown, like, because I feel the same way. My girl and I were like, we would love to come back, but first of all, we don't feel like we can afford it with our careers. But then we're also saying, like, all right, is it even still the part? But we really want to stay uptown. We want to have children uptown.
Yeah, because for me especially, you probably feel the same way. Once you grew up uptown and you know all about this shit, like, you feel more comfortable here. Yeah. I feel in my comfort zone. Like, I can literally, I know it's dangerous and shit, but I feel like I can moonwalk home 4 o'clock in the morning, wasted, and not. No one fuck with me. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I know these streets like the back of my head.
True or false? You can see a picture of a cut, right? I guarantee you can probably see a picture of a cut right now, right, in Uptown, and you can know where it's at.
You said a what? A cut? Like an alley or something? Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? That's how we were as kids. Like, all right, because we had to navigate through to get to where we needed to be.
Yeah, so, because, and then another thing was, like you said, Georgia Avenue was, like, very dangerous back home. So for me personally, maybe other people did it too, I don't know, but I figured out, like, probably 10 or 15 different routes how to walk from home.
Talk about it.
Just stay out the way. Yeah. But that's a part of street smarts. How you why would you walk to the deep end if you can't swim?
Talk about it. Like me, I used to cut, and it broke my heart when we just came back last night. And I was like, Young, look at Howard's parking lot. I used to cut. Howard's parking lot was like, all right, I don't want to go through Hobart. I don't want to go through.
Cut through and you go around the back.
Niggas know.
That's the way. That's how the civilians got on.
Or
if
like,
you ain't about that shit.
I'm trying to tell you, like, my father, like, he didn't understand because he's older, right?
Right.
And he's a detective in the southeast side. So I grew up over here. He did not understand when I told him one night. He was like, "Why did you get off at Columbia Heights instead of Georgia?" I said, "Look, I'm trying to tell you. What time was it? 9 o'clock at night." I said, "Look, you don't understand. Georgia Avenue, 9 o'clock at night on Friday No, sir. I'd rather walk from Columbia Heights. And he did not understand. Do you understand what I'm
Ain't
saying?
that crazy? I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I knew everybody there, so I was like, I was okay.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, yeah, man. I just love that you're truly like a kid of the city, and then now you're like a man, you're a spokesperson, you're about to
I
be
wish
a
we were, only one thing that I wish, this, when we were kids younger,
Yeah.
I wish that we were able to like truly like freely like roam through the city without having to
other
like worry
quadrants?
about shit. Cause that way we would have truly.
You
been able
talking
to
about like
do
the other
shit.
quadrants, or you talking about like uptown?
Just uptown in general. I just wish that we were able to like just run around and just like enjoy, like go
Yeah.
to this street, go to this neighborhood, like how you can do now. I wish we were able to do
I see what
back
you're saying.
then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The funny thing is, if you explain that to like these people walking up here, if you explain that to them, they didn't understand. Like there was politics. You couldn't go to everybody's court.
Yeah.
If they knew you was from, you know what I'm saying, situation. Even if you were a square like me,
Yeah.
you just could not.
It was just a law.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
an unwritten law.
Yeah.
If you what did
So we sorry guys, we had a tape ran out. I didn't realize we was talking for an hour. You know what I'm saying? But we was essentially just talking about, you know, how Dr. David here, he's still like a sane-minded individual, although he went through something that was, you know, one of the most heartbreaking things a young brother can go through. So I just wanted to pick up that.
So back in 2006, I think it was who was it? I think we were I was supposed to be junior.
Yeah.
So going into our no, it was during our junior year. My mom passed away. I was like 15, about to be 16. And that shit just basically like fucked me up, dude.
Yeah.
Because she was like the glue to our family. I couldn't really like understand it. I couldn't really comprehend it. Like I just couldn't believe it. And I guess I went to a state of depression. I was angry.
Yeah.
I wasn't really like, I don't know. I wasn't like trying to like joke and fuck around and shit. Like I just couldn't like, I don't know. I just wake up and be like, shit, it's 7 o'clock. I gotta go to school. I'm not going to school today. Fuck this.
I remember there was I'm not going to like speak too much on like a psycho evaluation, but I do remember 9th grade you versus 11th grade you. You were different. You know what I'm saying? I remember, because even back then, we used to all like play. We all had nicknames. You know what I'm saying? We even had nicknames.
Got a little tougher.
And then when it came to you in 11th grade, they could not play with you no more. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yeah, I respect that. You know what I'm saying?
No, it was just because, like, what do you mean by that? You mean like I got more angrier or something, violent?
I mean, don't hit me for saying this. You remember, we used to have nicknames, and then we used to call you Rat.
Yeah.
And I remember.
Willard.
Yeah. But I remember, like, once that happened, niggas could not call you that no more. You was like, all right, don't call me that no more. And I was like, okay, that was done. And I'm just saying that I saw.
Damn, I don't even remember that.
You was checking niggas. you was also, I'm the captain now, checking niggas like back then.
I'm the captain now.
I respect it because it's a dumb name, because you used to call Avery Tex. Tax, because there's a cartoon thing called Tax Avery or whatever.
Tax Avery. Nah, shout out to Avery. That's my dog. Like so even to this day, like if you really cool with somebody, like to this day, like say for example, I was hanging out with some friends, right? One of my good friends, his name's Tavo, he's from South Africa, right? Mm-hmm. He could say, and like I'll allow him to say and do things that other people don't do because we're friends, and I know he doesn't mean any harm. But the thing is this, when niggas get around other people that don't really know that well, you try to do that, and this one guy, this guy was like, damn, you gonna let that nigga strike you in the back of your head like that?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a weird thing, but it's like, for me at that time back then, not to get off track, like, I don't remember like a lot of shit or how I used to act because I was like so in the moment type shit. Mm-hmm. I just had ton of vision because I had like so much shit to like, I had bigger fish to fry, I guess, than to be fucking around with you guys.
And the thing was, then you kind of like, you didn't really go to school that much.
No, because I had to get some money.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't do it because I was trying to be like a dick or something. I was just like, fuck dude, like it's shit getting real. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I guess you would say like I guess I was growing up into a man earlier than what I should have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When we pre-talked about this, it was like I told you like how it kind of felt like watching The Wire. Like you kind of was
The
like
character in
the Michael. Like
yeah.
you was like a really awesome-hearted, you know what I'm
Good
saying?
kid,
Yeah,
good heart.
Playful.
Unfortunate circumstance.
Yeah, then all of a sudden, 11th grade, you know what I'm saying? You was iced out.
Start wearing chains.
You know what I'm saying? you was making money. I said, okay, don't play with him no more. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, like, I'm trying to remember this movie. He was like, no, what'd he say? I ain't the same nigga from, I ain't the same nigga from 9th grade, man. I'm a gangster grandpa.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about, was that 50 shit?
Yeah, that's right. What'd he say? I'm a gangster, deal with it.
I'm a gangster, bro, yeah.
But I'm glad that I got back on track because even like talking to my sister this past Thanksgiving, she came in, when I came in, she cried because she was like, man, you changed so much. Like,
yeah,
used to be, it was one time when, like I was going down a bad path. I was very close to making a poor decision that would have changed my life forever. So,
yeah.
you know, I'm glad that what I had to do basically was like, cause I ain't trying to like go into the shit for real.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, I just had to like separate myself from people. I started just rocking by myself for a while.
Yeah.
And once I like got my head a little bit out the water, I got my high school diploma online. I even attended UDC for a few.
Yeah.
I didn't finish, but I did. And this was before they were actual universities. And, you know, I just started like slowly getting my shit back together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like that from 16 to like 20.
Yeah.
I was a different person back then because I had to be.
You know, and I don't think I ever sent this to another human being or like another black man, but it's like I look in your eyes, right?
Yeah.
And you can see you seen some shit. You ever seen like someone you like, even if they're like a politician, even if they're a preacher, right?
Right.
You can see when someone's seen some shit, and like, and I see that, and I'm like, yeah, I could tell that you've seen that. And
Exactly.
how you doing? I love how dogs do that.
Yeah.
But like, I could tell you seen some shit, and like, and even like how you was talking the other day, like how certain things could trigger you back to like, all right, I gotta survive now. You know what I'm saying? Like someone.
Well, yeah, it's because it's like I don't know how to say this. I guess like you know when you hear shit like when they say the survival of the fittest, the strongest. You know, like you can't if you're in a certain situation like that. You do if you're a weak-minded person or if you moving like a weak motherfucker.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make it, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta
survive.
move strong. You gotta be firm. You can't let you. I didn't even notice that I was checking people, but I guess I just had to. Like, and my mentality changed. I was like, this shit ain't funny no more, nigga. I'm not a kid no more. You know?
Yeah.
I will hurt you.
But my thing is, like,
I guess a lot of things is this. I'll say this because. You're not gonna feel this until, and I don't want nobody to ever like experience this. Even if you 50 years old, your mom's dies gonna hurt the same.
Yeah.
But when that happens to you, especially at that tender age in that particular environment that I was in, I didn't give a fuck about going to prison, and I didn't give a fuck about dying.
Yeah.
So it was like, that's the type of person you don't want to fuck with.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: do you feel like a lot of these young brothers out here are with that same mindset? Like,
oh yeah, for sure. Especially with all this shit going on now, like COVID, motherfuckers ain't getting stimulus checks. These kids don't care about. The only thing they care about is putting food in their stomach, clothes on their back, and helping their family.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
To like help spark a change, because I know, because I've been in that life before.
Yeah.
I know all about it, and I know what these kids are going through, and I wanna help change their mind. I wanna put other shit out there for them to do, because I don't ever want anyone to have to like go through the shit that I had to go through.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like what Jay-Z say, I had to do that, so hopefully you don't gotta go through that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hov went through that.
Hov did
so
that.
hopefully you have to go through that.
Yeah, that's why when I have a kid, I'm not gonna like no one needs to ever have to go through things that I did. Like, they talk about the military and the army, nigga. I was in the military every day.
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask you this. Do you feel as if, how do I put this? How do you feel about, like, people who aren't from your situation or from your environment wanting to, like, kind of embody or, like, kind of recreate that in, like, the suburban situation? I'm trying to be polite.
I get what you're saying. You're talking about, like, how people from the suburbs be trying to act hood and shit.
Yeah, and it's like they don't.
I mean, I to be honest, do your thing, man, because it's like a thing to them. My just thing is this. It's like, if you pretending and shit, that's cool, because it's like, it's fun. It's like the facade of it. It's like, but you gotta realize, bro, don't let that blind shit get you hurt. You know, because you're gonna be in a situation sometimes, like, you know how, like, actors, right? They got a certain type of role. Yeah. But that's not them when they get off camera. Don't be Heath Ledger. Don't think you really is the Joker.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because I'm seeing a lot of that in Atlanta. Like, a lot of these kids, because I thought everyone was about this shit. You know what I'm saying? I grew up, well, if you said it, you was about it, you was about it. And then these kids are rapping, and then they go somewhere else and they get their shit snatched. I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? What happens next?
That's what I'm saying, because it's what Dave Chappelle said, when keeping it real goes wrong. It's like, it's okay to like, cause, and that's another thing, is because, like, hip hop is like the #1 genre right now, right? Yeah. So it's like, everybody and their mama wanna, this and that and this and that. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, it's like, it's motherfuckers really out here doing it. Yeah, exactly. Hey, you can keep that shit over there with your minds, but don't bring it to somewhere where it's really happening.
It's really real.
You're gonna get sucked into it. I don't know if you guys heard about the story. It's a perfect story I read. This kid that he lives in Calabasas or some shit. This white kid drove a Beamer, but he was infatuated with rap and hip hop. So he met a friend that lived in Crenshaw. He became a Crip. And he got incriminated with some guys as the getaway driver to a murder. Yeah. And then he say, I'm just a white kid that never. Nah, nigga.
Yeah. You got
that
shit.
Nah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you with it for life. Yeah, man. So I just want to, once again, thank you so much for this conversation, bro. Like, it's cold as fuck, so.
Like shit. Like shit.
You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate that. You are definitely the first. I think this is going to be one of the greatest conversations I've ever had. Yeah. Now, give me, to the people, you know, what you want them to as a lasting message that Dr. David Scott has given to the people from Say Less TV.
Well, I'm going to just say this. Follow me on Instagram at D_artist, ARTIS8. Be safe out here, guys. Stay sucker free and say less.
You don't even believe in Jesus. Why you got a Jesus be? If you want to leave, just leave. But you ain't gotta lie to me. Even the blind can see. But she ain't gon' ride for me. You ain't even showing me the love you say you got for me. There ain't no loyalty, you lie to me. You say that you gon' ride for me. Baby, that's blasphemy. Yeah, baby, you're bad for me. Yeah, say you gon' clap for me. Yeah, say you gon' blast for me. Yeah, why you ain't show me none of the love you say you have for me? Yeah, we're going through tragedy. Bitch, I needed you drastically. Yeah, I'ma just switch my flow up. Yeah, maybe I'm sick, no throw up. Yeah, maybe I'm sick, no check up. Yeah, or you need to run your checkup. Yeah, I'm eating on you niggas, no catch up. Yeah, I'm eating on you niggas, can't catch up. Hey, hit a face down with an ass up. Hey, even when I'm fucking, I'm messed up. Hey, for me, baby, you ain't got shit I need, bitch. You want me to take my time with you, or maybe I'm not your speed, bitch. Maybe I'm not your lead, bitch. You ain't got no cheese, bitch. Maybe I'm just too G for you. Maybe I'm just too